In this video, we're going to be exploring the new Crises Guardians Save Shiar Empress in style. And it's a new map shape that we don't have currently. This is map M, which it's important to note that is a community designation. That is not something that AMG has come up with. I think with the last Crisis set, they removed those map designations. So I wanted to just go over what some of the key measurements are on this new map shape and what kind of openings you'll need to be aware of once this new crisis drops in March. So I have here some web warriors, some criminal syndicate peeps, and I just want to show you what you have access to when you deploy. So on this side, I just want to show we have a large base medium mover, small base long mover, and I have them deployed centrally. So like Rhino could go and flip, my point right here, blah, 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 and set up for next round. And I want to place him as far as I can. He can then attack and end up on my opponent's, back pay to flip next round. And it's important that he's also body blocking here. Spectacular is not a threat to get to this point. I guess he could, if he was in like a Steve leadership where he could move and then access, his web swing and then generate a power maybe, but it seems unlikely that he's going to be much of a threat. But the body block will be important for things like a medium base medium mover. So like Beta Ray Bill here can reach my opponent's back point. So he can go here, flip my point, and then walk to my opponent's. But he could get body blocked. He can't access any part of that console. So if Shang-Chi had gone first, Shang could go ahead and he could, stand in front and probably prevent Beta Ray Bill from accessing the console. What's notable about a character like Shang-Chi, though, is that under Steve, we could do something like move. I'm going to just delete this just so he's more comfortable. He can move, charge, and he's not on the point, but if he does a damage to it, if there is a model there for him to hit, if he does a damage, he could pay one, or I guess two damage. He could pay one power, advance onto the point, and then with his second power, be able to pay. So it's not a guaranteed opening, but it's something that the Shang-Chi player in a Steve or a Defenders with Wong does have access to, so something you have to be aware of. If you're playing an Abomination who's getting more popular in something like Web Warriors or a Black Cat in various affiliations, you can deploy them centrally, and Cat can move along again, and she's fairly comfortable-ish getting to that point. If you cheat her, but you can still body block. If you cheat her to a side, a side here or here, she's got a lot of room to be able to get to wherever she wants. So deployed centrally, she can go to either one if your opponent doesn't body block. If she was deployed, let's say, cheating more directly, like that, she could, with plenty of movement, I'll move Rhino out of the way, plenty of movement to get to wherever she wants on that point. And like you see, yeah, so you can't really body block her quite as effectively. Now, Abomination is on a large base. He's got a medium move, so he can do something very similar. Let's see how much space we have to work with here. So I'll move Bill out of the way. Again, similar thing. Body blocking will be important here, but you have options. Again, if he's cheated to one side, you'll have additional options available to you. Come on, I'm on my work computer, and this is slightly more awkward. Okay. He has a little bit more range about where he wants to sit, and he should be able to get to wherever he wants without being blocked too effectively. But I think the stronger play oftentimes will be, well, I guess if I have this, I might cheat Abomination, one of these two sides, and maybe deploy Cat centrally or put both centrally, and they can't block both, so you can get kind of aggressive early on depending on what the team is bringing. If Cat is able to get to either one of those, that also means that Namor can. So a Namor ASM opening is both really strong. Because Namor is on a larger base, he's got more freedom, more range to get to where he needs to go without being blocked. So again, I'll move Shang out of the way. Yeah, so we've got plenty of space here to get to wherever we need. So if given how popular Namor is, we could deploy him centrally, and we should get a crack at flipping either one of our opponent's back secures. And then same thing for Toad, because he can interact at range 2. I did not deploy him perfectly centrally here, because that's where I had Namor. So we're not going to get to where we need in this example, but if I were to deploy him, let's see. If I deploy him perfectly center, we can get to where we want. Let's see. Of course, this is terrain dependent. Looks like we're just short. All right, so Toad is going to have to be cheated to one side if you want to steal a back point here. So if you're a Brotherhood player, probably cheating Toad, and then he's either going to interact here or double move and interact on an opponent's secure. So we've got a lot of options here. To recap, characters like Namor and long movers in general can be deployed centrally and hit either of our opponent's back secures. Body blocking with your early models is going to be important. I think it's really habitual for a lot of players, and I think this is often wrong, to just go max range 1, like, nobody can hit me here. But it's actually pretty rare, depending on the map, that when you do something like this, you don't get hit. I think on this map, it might be better to be more aggressive against certain models to block their path of where they're going to land to stop them from flipping your back secures. And this is not a complete comprehensive guide. Like, one thing I haven't considered here is, outside of the Shang-Chi opening, I haven't considered, like a range 4 character. Like, if you're sitting back here, I haven't really considered, if we don't body block, can a range 4 character like Gwen, hit you back here? I haven't measured that out yet. So if Gwen goes there, she can't. If Gwen moves up, or a Scarlet Witch or something, not that anyone's playing Scarlet Witch, not hitting you back here. So if you deploy max range 1, you're not as fearful of the range 4 guns, but if you're moving up here to body block, you do put yourself in harm's way of a range 4. Potentially range 3, let's see. We're body blocking. I think we're in range 3 as well. So we have things to consider here. We have to either sit one back so that we don't get, single or double tapped round 1. And we have to be in front of the secure if we want to body block certain models like a Beta Ray Bill or essentially deployed Black Cat from stealing our back secure. So I really like this crisis shape. Granted, I have not played on it yet. I'm going to be curious to see like what kind of openings people have, what if this ends up favoring attrition or X-Men style plays. I think it's interesting because you have models, like, you're close enough where there's going to be a fight, but spread out enough where the controlly or scenario teams have more options. So I'll be really curious to see where people land on this over the next few months and what people kind of have access to, because I think this is like a fairly mid-range secure, like, hot take. Granted, we'll see what happens when people actually play it. I think, like, if people want to be Malekith players, like, this could be like a cool Malekith map. It could be a really cool Red Skull map, right? Red Skull, the grunts flip this. Red Skull's in a position where he could double move and flip, or just go here, cut, and punch something. If he punches something, Red Skull can advance himself and be not quite on the point, unfortunately. He could advance himself and then push the other model off. If he's in Suns, Skull then bumps and gets to the point. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting openings. This is not meant to be a comprehensive overview. It's just more of me kind of playing around at work while I'm bored and seeing like what can we do on this new map shape. Suns, X-Men, etc. are going to have a lot of options available to them. But at the same time, things like Malekith or Gladiator, Steve charge lists, even like gun lines should also have some counterplay here and be able to play attrition. So be curious to see how this one shakes out. If you have some ideas or things that I missed in my measurements here, comment down below. Let me know what I missed, what else we should be looking for. And then I look forward to some more new crisis shapes that we can play around with and see what kind of openings we can create.